One
his blind
lamp on that
electrician.
thing.
Yeah, Nate's
Uh,
house is going to burn down because of that blind electrician he had hooked that up behind him.
Welcome to another episode of Instagram Pipe Makers Club May challenge, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little late, but that's my fault. I'll take ownership on that. It's not easy getting four
100%
people
fault.
together to schedule wise.
You know, Nate and I had no problem recording this on a timely.
When three of them have kids and very big responsibilities, whereas I have none.
So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it then.
Yeah, you got the pictures to pull up and shoot us over to the side. Twirl that mustache.
Oh, why isn't it?
Finger that beard.
Oh yeah.
So we're just gonna wham bam, thank you, ma'am, this whole list of pipes and be done.
Well, it's a little crude, but yes. Kirk,
Yeah.
press the button whenever you want. You are the technical guru.
Do you guys see them?
We can see your whole screen, and you have to get rid of some of those pictures.
Who is she?
Wow.
Okay. So
Who's he?
this was the May challenge for the Instagram Pipe Makers Club, and the announcement that was put out said, "Okay, everyone, May. I said spring is in the air. No flowers, no birds. Spring is a time of renewal and growth. That's the key. So for May, a pipe, any shape and finish, however, two stems. The first is a clinched piece. The second stem should have growth, turning the pipe into a semi or full church warden. The shape should lend itself to both style. What? The shape should lend itself to both style is smoking. Something a little different.
Both styles of smoking.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't my head.
Long Island grammar.
Must not have had your readers on when you're typing
My
that,
cheaters?
Jay.
No, probably also 4 a.m.
You do realize sometimes people in Long Island, they get grammar mixed up with their grandmother because when they say grandma, they say grammar.
Well, you know what it is. We do things a whole lot faster than you guys in Indiana. So we save time. You just cut out some words that you don't need.
Hey, Jay, say grandma.
Granny. Or what do you guys call them? Meemaws?
I say grandmother.
Do you really?
I usually say grandma.
I don't say anything because both of mine are gone.
So
That
are
was
mine.
so horrible for you to bring up. It's terrible.
Yeah. It's a
I hate
pretty
both
sore
of
spot.
mine, so I mean, it's cool.
So this first pipe by Freehand Pipes.
Thank you, Kirk.
Stepping on Nate's toes there.
So this first pipe by Freehand Pipe. He says,
What about now?
what's that?
You gonna go?
What?
You gonna read this?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You sure?
So
much
he
for
said-
streamlining.
So the
Kirk
plan
right
was
now.
to actually make a more normal pipe this time for once. But things went wrong. And then went wrong again and again and again. Started with 3 nodes of bamboo, then 2, now down to 1. Every single thing that could go wrong did. Well, almost at least. So alas, time ran out. There are some scratches that still need to be sanded out. There are some shaping to be done, particularly the short version. It's too chunky at the moment. But I put the pipe to the polishing wheel nonetheless, just to get the pictures up. Work continues on it once I give this one a rest, because man, it really tested my patience. The color is more orange and golden than what the picture shows. The weight, he gives the weight and the measurements and stuff. I don't think that's necessary to read.
No.
But as always, Johan delivers a very unique pipe here. I really like the pipe I have from him has that kind of lightning little like rustication design like this one has on the side of the bowl there. And I absolutely love that look. And this one's I like it because the church warden stem is very different than the stubby stem, and I like them both. I feel like they both have their own qualities. I like them separately. But I really, really, I mean, I love this guy. I love what he does for every month. And this is no exception. A little kind of squat tomato.
Johan is always, late to the game when it comes to finishing pipes.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I always put it out there at the end of the month. Anybody else? And he's always I'm almost done. I said, okay, I'll wait. So we're not late because of him, but we're usually late because of him posting. But this piece, he kept saying it was a mistake and a mistake and a mistake because of the bamboo, and it went from 3 notes to 1. In all honesty, when it comes to pipes with bamboo as the shank, if it has more than 1 node, it needs to have symmetry. And a lot of pipe makers don't do that, where there should be an even amount of space from the node to the briar as there is from the first node to the stem. And a lot of times they don't. So if you have 3, that'll determine the length of the pipe, because you need the symmetry on either end. You'll have a node in the center. So you're going to try and find a piece in the shank of the bamboo where the nodes are somewhat even from the middle one. When there's only 1 node, I prefer it closer to the stem than to the briar side. And he did exactly that on this. It looks great.
Yeah.
And the fact that, if you look at it, the stem comes, if you look at the short stem, that whole blue stem is one piece. What he did on the other one, the black stem itself really changes the style of the whole thing. It's just a great, he really does. You know what? He's an artistic guy. And when you look at the pipe, you can see his artistic flair in it, which is really nice. You can speak, Justin.
Oh, am I next on the list?
If yes, if you have
'Cause I'm
anything
on,
to say
on
about
my
it.
side, I'm on the other end. So sorry, I was just trying to wait my time. Um, yeah, so I'm with Nate. I really like he does like this very artistic lightning bolt style rustication on his stuff. I know Nate's has it. My pipe from him that he gifted me has it on multiple places. Um, it's unique to him. So I really like that about it. I actually like the look of the single note of bamboo. Um, I'm not. It's hard to tell from the picture what that extension is. Past between the bamboo and the stem.
On the black one, on the black stem.
Yes. Yeah.
It,
So it's just is it like the stem's 2 pieces? Is that what that is?
it looks like a third piece, because if you look at it, there's like 2 bulbs of it,
Yeah.
where on the short stem, it's only the one coming from it.
Okay. Gotcha. I don't know what that material is. If it's the same material, it looks like the same material that he did the short stem with. But I love the color combinations. I love that blue, like marbling, whatever that material is, along with that blonde bamboo, and I like the light stain of the pipe with it. Like he said, I think that the bowl's a little chunky, and but he said he's going to rectify that. He just wanted to get it finished and get a finished product out there.
I don't mind the chunky bowl though, because as a church warden, you want it to sit in your hand nicely.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
You see in the picture where he's got the short stem in, I just noticed that's the long stem and the piece that the long stem goes into right next to it.
Yeah.
You thought it was like a glass duck?
I did think it was a little piece of glass. I got some
Thought
kind
it
of
was
a
glass
glass.
too until Kirk zoomed in.
Yeah. That's cool.
Totes.
All right, next.
Go.
Kirk, you're not going to give your opinion?
Yeah, Kirk. You
Oh,
know
I
anything
can
to
I
say
can give
about
my I can give my opinion.
Um,
Jay said I can't talk unless I'm spoken to.
We'll let you try on this one.
No, I really don't have anything else to say that you guys didn't already
See?
say.
Exactly.
I was gonna
Press
say,
the
I
buttons,
mean,
Kirk.
the is that acrylic though? That's on the longer extension in between the stem and the bamboo. That's the same.
The same
Is that
material. I don't
the
know if
same?
it's
That's
acrylic.
the same
It,
rod.
it looks more translucent, when it's sitting over there than it is on the stem.
Mm.
It is the same piece. I mean, that is
Okay.
the piece. What the material is, I don't know.
Up next is this Pipes by Woo?
This is
No, no, no.
Pipes Sue Wood.
Sue Wood.
She said, I had this design in mind for a while, but couldn't find the right moment to bring it to life. The challenge of this month and the requirement for a longer mouthpiece gave me the push I needed. I prepared it and took it to Cogley? Is that
And
a city?
You're gonna complain. Yeah, yes, it was the pipe show in Cagley. They
Cagley.
went to in Spain. Yeah,
Are you? It's pronounced Cagley, or is that like a New York way of saying it?
we'll just call it my way of saying it. How's that?
Okay, all right. So I prepared it and
It's
took it to Cagley.
Cagli.
Yeah, Cagli. So this little one has traveled a lot. Here is the pipe whose shape I am not sure how to classify, with a bamboo ring and ivory setting on its tip. An acrylic mouthpiece for the short version and an ebonite one for the churchwarden version. If anyone can give me, and she goes on to ask some questions, but this is kind of like a semi blowfish kind of a shape.
Yeah.
100%.
And I love this pipe. She does really, really good work. I like how the one part, like the one side of it, it kind of looks like a ball emerging from the wood on the, I guess that would be the left side of the pipe if you're holding it in your mouth. But
Hmm.
yeah, I like it a lot. I just feel like it flows really well. And again, like you said earlier, she put that knuckle closer to the stem than the briar itself. And that's not something I really thought about before, but I do agree with you. I really like the way that looks.
Yeah, it's the correct way of doing it. It adds balance.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
exactly.
it's too weight forward on the eye when you look at it. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. But if that node if that knuckle was all the way down at the briar, it would just look too bulky at the bottom.
Yeah.
It extends the shank a little bit, as short as it is. I thought it was interesting that you used an acrylic stem and an ebonite stem.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they both work great on this piece. I mean, that long stem really gives the piece a lot of elegance. And if you look at the curve that she put on that stem, it comes all the way down and flows right to the bottom of that bowl, which is beautiful. But it's definitely a blowfish style or fugu, however you want to classify it.
Yeah, I like the asymmetrical shape of the bowl. I said, like Nate and you and Jay both said, it's very blowfishy. But for some reason I'm really drawn to asymmetric pipes. And I don't even own one. I don't think I have a single. I'm looking at my wall.
You don't have any blowfish at all?
I don't have a single blowfish, no.
Really?
I don't have any asymmetrical pipes, but every time I'm at a pipe show, my eye is drawn to asymmetrical pipes. I love to like pick one up and feel how hold it in my hand, and the line
Depending
are
on
everything.
how do you smoke to the left of your mouth or to the right of your mouth? Do you hold the pipe in your left
Both.
or your right hand?
Both.
All right. So when you look at one, you'll see that they'll flow in either direction.
Right.
So your predominant hand that you smoke with, let's call it, mine's always my left. I rarely, if ever, use my right hand because it's always hanging from my left. Most of the blowfish that I have, especially one of them from Castle Briars, has such a bend to the left that it just sits right in your hand while you're smoking. There's a real comfort to them. They're odd to look at, and a lot of people aren't attracted to them, they're different.
That's what I
Uh,
like is the oddity of them.
They
But
they
there
there's
is
such
also
there's such a beauty and by looking at them and the long curves that go into it, it's just amazing.
yeah, for me a lot of it is like seeing where the lines lead to. Um and like the thing that I think the thing that draws me to okay, so in photography, they say that you need to have lines in your picture and having those lines go where you want the viewer to have their eye drawn to. And you should have basically leading lines through your picture because the longer they do that, the longer somebody stares at your picture.
Right.
And it's the same way with asymmetrical pipes. One of the things I love about this, everywhere I look at a line on this thing, I see something different. I think that's why I'm drawn to pipes with lines and asymmetry, is because they're fascinating, number one. Um, and the lines go to different places, and I notice about different things about the pipe everywhere I turn it. I follow a line, I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Follow another line, ooh, that's cool. So I don't know. I love this. It is odd to me. I don't think I've ever seen a blowfish with a church warden stem.
Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever come across one.
Hmm.
This works.
Not a bad look. I like it. It was odd to me because I just had never I don't recall ever seeing a blowfish shaped like this with a church warden stem.
I never asked her if this sold in Cagley or not.
I like it.
Well, she said she prepared and took it to Cagley, so it's traveled a lot, which made me feel like she brought it back with her. But she did not say.
Yeah, her and Azwega Raphael were there together with her. Some of the guys from Smoking Pipes were there. Shane Ireland and Truitt, they were all there.
Yeah, I saw some pics online.
Yeah, it seemed like a great show, like an outside tent type environment.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk, would you like to add anything to this?
Nope. I was just gonna touch on the grain. I like there's a lot of straight grain that I noticed, but then like on the bottom it looked until I zoomed in. I don't know if there are any bird's eye. Doesn't really look like a whole lot, but
I just noticed as you zoom in though, it looks like it might be a sitter.
yeah, up
Yeah,
here on
bottom.
the yeah.
Well, I don't know if in that picture with the church warden stem, if she's holding it at the end for the picture or if it's actually sitting.
Yeah, it
The
could
weight
be.
in the bowl should hold it up.
I think it's resting on that.
Pipe sock.
Well, there's a like little
Yeah.
cylinder,
Oh,
Like a
on
piece
yeah.
of wood. Is that like
Yeah.
a block or something?
but it looks like she put in like a flat circular area on the bottom on that middle right hand side picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It doesn't mean it'll sit like that
No,
with the church warden, but it probably will with the short stem.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice until you zoomed in either that ivory that she was talking about. She put that. It looks like a little bitty baby pearl sitting right on the knuckle of that bamboo.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right in the node.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty sweet looking. I like
A-
that a lot.
A lot of times makers will put a dot of something in the node if the node tends to go all the way through, even a little bit, because it'll create that draft.
Mm.
So, and especially if they don't have a steel tube going through. So you put a node dot in there, epoxy with, some kind of exotic wood or a stone or something to fill up the cavity.
That's cool.
what I should do with my cavities.
Fill them with wood.
Exotic
And-
stones.
And next,
So-
next we've got Grunwald pipes.
This is your guy, Nate.
This is my guy.
This is your guy.
So Paul over at Grunwald Pipes, he says, here's a Grunwald pipe sub for the month. As expected, it's both are cherry stems with Tortuga acrylic mouthpieces with the long stem at, I don't know, 248 millimeters. No one knows what that means. With the short stem at
American.
187 millimeters. It's probably like 4 inches.
Well, he's making it for the Lord of the Ring guys, so they're all in the metric system.
If you had to
That-
say that in like maybe match widths, how long would you say this?
3.5 matches If you're going with like the wooden strike anywhere matches, I'd say about 3.5 matches.
Okay.
You're kidding, right? You,
What?
you're going by match length.
That's how Americans do it.
Well, are they cigar matches? My matches are this long.
No, just normal kitchen strike anywhere kitchen matches.
How many
You mean
dimes would
I
you
mean
say?
out of the box that my grandmother used to have?
Well, that's what I always measure by.
Okay, I'm just checking. I just need a reference.
And it says a white-tailed deer antler adornment on the short stem. I guess that's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I love Paul's pipes. He does such a great job. This might be the first one I've seen where the bowl is like fully rusticated on one of these. Um, and I like it. I like how he left the smooth on top and the smooth little bitty bit where the stem comes in, and it matches the stem really well, or like the shank, I should say, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like his pipes flow really well. The difference in length is obviously there when you look at this picture, but besides that, they're so similar in appearance. It's difficult for me to even
Well,
notice the differences in
and
length.
that's why the first thing I thought of when I saw this were fly rods. When you buy, let's say, multi-piece fly rods, split cane fly rods, bamboo rods, and custom made, however, uh, you'll usually get two tips. So let's say it's a 4-piece rod, you'll get 5 pieces, and you'll have actually 2 tip sections. And what they do is they'll put a different winding on the bottom, or they'll put one winding on one and 2 windings on the other. So you can actually tell which tip you're using. This way you don't wear them out. So you can alternate between them.
Mm.
So with the bend in this, as it is one of those, Lord of the Ring pipes, the fact that the shorter one has the band on it, the first thing I thought of was a 2-tip fly rod.
Me
You know,
too.
of course you did. Yeah. You and your fish hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. His pipes are, they're not your traditional pipe that a pipe smoker walks around with. They're for a special group of people. And for what he does for that niche, I think is absolutely perfect. He nails it for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I'm actually glad that his short stem still fits in his wheelhouse because like Paul does what Paul does, and there's not very many people in the pipe community. I might say there's nobody in the pipe community doing what Paul does. Now, granted, the 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 group of people that he is targeting, his customer base is more narrow, so there's not as much demand for them. But I've encouraged Paul over and over again, like, don't abandon what you're good at. Like, people love your pipes for what you're currently doing.
Well,
There are,
in all honesty, there's a group. I mean, there's a large group of people that go for that Lord of the Rings type. Even if it's a novelty, they want one or two. They smoke them. They go to these events and they have them. There are wizard pipes, and this wizard has that one, and this wizard has the other one. So there is a following for it, and we're just not privy to them. It's like bowling teams and people with bowling. That's not us. Well, it's the two of you with your bowling shirts. That's all Nate ever wears.
it's true.
I have one of Paul's pipes and it smokes incredibly well. I have it's not a clincher, obviously. But it is one of the best sipping pipes that I own. And I can't say enough about his craftsmanship. He does such a good job.
I remember you talking about that one. You were going to get it, you didn't get it, and then you thought you missed out on it, and then there it was.
That's right. And
I have a
I love his stem, the bits that he does on these. I love it.
yeah.
Because I don't clench a ton. My pipe's almost always in my hand. Every once in a while, maybe when I'm switching hands, I'll clench my pipe for a few seconds. I am a pipe sipper.
These
And
stems make you sip.
yes.
Yeah.
But like in this type of pipe, fitting this type of genre of pipe, a clenchable stem isn't necessary. It's
No, you're not going to clench this
yeah.
at all.
And
Even if it did have a traditional stem.
I love how he did a shorter stem, but it still fits in his style.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
How many
think
matches do you think that shorter one is?
Oh my god!
uh
I'll give you a match.
I do love the adornment, the antler. You know, I'm an outdoorsman, so that, you know, pulls my heartstrings a little bit there. But it just fits the vibe too. Like this is a very like if you could just go into the woods and pluck a pipe off of a tree, this is exactly what it would look like. Like if there's a woodsman pipe, this is it.
Oh, definitely.
Like even his rustication looks like tree bark. That looks like that. So his whole stummel there literally looks like where a smaller branch is coming off of a tree.
Is it rusticated or sandblasted? Zoom into it, Kirk.
Closer.
Enhance.
I'm
you
looking
like
into
the
that right now.
TSI thing and enhance the picture. But I do like how he did the smooth rim on it.
Oh yeah,
That might be a blast.
I don't know that he does blasts.
Yeah, I don't know
that-
either.
I think he goes to his buddy's house to sandblast.
yeah. I think that's sandblasted. Yeah,
Regardless,
you tape the bottom and tape the top, and
for Nate, irregardless,
irregardless.
Nate would never say that word. I don't know why you say for Nate. I would literally never say that word.
You know that
It's
word
not
has
a word.
the same meaning. It is a word. Irregardless and regardless are the exact same words,
Irregardless is not a word.
and they can be used interchangeably. Pull out your Google machine.
You pull out your Google machine. I know it's not a word.
We will pull out our Google machines later.
I'm gonna go
buddy.
get my Webster dictionary, my Funkin' Wagnalls, and I'll show you.
Hey, there's
are you able to carry that big book down the stairs?
The only thing I wanted to add is
I want you to add something, Kirk, because I know you dress up as a wizard at night. Tell me what you think.
well, it's actually a hobbit. It's a hobbit, not a wizard.
It's the local hobbit.
But like I have a few church wardens that I smoke occasionally when I am just as a hobbit or just reading. and
Your feet hurt.
but and it's none of them. I mean, there's some of them are just regular, ebonite or something, but or just even like the plain like the McQueen pipes. Those kind of suck a little bit with as far as like the stems go because it's just wood. It's just like a hard
Yeah.
wood. But so I've always really liked how at the end he has that how his bit at the end. What is that made out of?
It's acrylic.
Is
Acrylic.
acrylic? Okay.
But that's exactly it. His pipes are the artisan version of the factory McQueen pipes.
Beautiful. This one, again, this guy does some really, really cool designs with his pipes. This is Rafael Arzuaga. And he says, here I share my piece of the month, a pipe made with an ergonomic design that fits comfortably in the hand, providing a pleasant grip. The body of the bowl with a slight inclination forward, giving a comfortable position for lighting the stove. It presents an engraving on one of the sides with a Japanese air-ringed olive tree and mouthpieces made by hand in ebonite. So I'm guessing that the little accent piece is the part that's the Japanese air-ringed olive tree. Oh, and I think he has a piece in the church warden stem as well.
Yeah, built into it.
Yeah. Ooh, that is very cool.
Yeah,
I like
don't know
that a
how
lot.
I don't know how these guys do some of this stuff. It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
carefully.
Yeah, the way this one looks, I love the flow of the church warden stem. Like the short stem, it's kind of like toting the line of being a Cavalier style pipe
Mm-hmm.
with the way it sits and the way it's canted like that and everything. But that church warden stem is just so funky and cool. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I like that he didn't put just a regular curve into it. Like
Right.
the one that Suwa did works on her piece. This style stem wouldn't work on hers,
Right.
and vice versa, because of the deep curve of the bowl on the front.
Mhm.
That curve, that slight bend in the stem where it comes straight and then out, is absolutely perfect for this because it's exactly what the pipe does. His long churchwarden stem follows the flow of the briar.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Back to the lines again on this pipe. Like there are so many different little areas. Like if on the picture on the top right, on the shank, there's like this thin area that's not rusticated in
Mhm.
that view line there. He's got this asymmetrical olive wood ring there. If you look at it from the different angles, like it's not symmetric at all. There's the line coming off of on that same top right picture, this like flowing line on the bottom line of the pipe, but it has this flowing line across the top of the pipe, and then the shank curves a different direction, and then the stem curves towards the front, and then
Yeah,
back towards the back.
It's almost like a diamond shaped shank.
Yeah.
I love it. Like again, the top left, very asymmetrical. You see if you were to just look at the top right picture, you wouldn't realize that point is really canted off center. But then you look at the top left and you're like, holy cow, that teardrop shape
Turns.
that point comes off almost at like a 10 o'clock on the pipe.
See, after
I
talking
love it.
about blowfish, this pipe is all you.
And then you have the right side of the pipe if you were smoking it, and there's a whole bunch of grain that's just exposed there, not rusticated. And again, lines, like super sharp lines in his rustication. The script for which I'm assuming is his signature is
Yeah.
incredible.
I love that he does that.
It's the first thing I thought of when I saw the script was the script that's on the ring from Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
Oh,
Kind of has that vibe to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love everything about this pipe. It's not my style, but this is one of those pipes at a show I could stare at for hours.
it's a beautiful piece.
I
Kirk,
like
you
I
can
like
speak.
how it looks like it can fit really good in the hand, and I'm not sure if it'd be like the left or the right, but like kind of there's like on the smooth side on the stummel, it looks like
Mhm.
almost like a grip kind of,
Yeah.
Pistol grip.
It almost
If
looks
you
like
look at that bottom
thumb.
picture upside down, it would be a pistol grip to a
Yeah, you're
revolver.
right. Yeah, you're right.
If you look at the middle picture on the left-hand side, that unrusticated spot there, the smooth spot, it almost looks like your thumb from your left hand would fit right in that. Like I'm imagining holding this pipe, and I
Mhm.
feel like my thumb, it would rest right between my thumb and pointer finger. It looks
Yeah.
very, very pleasing to hold.
Yeah, that's what I mean by like the blowfish and these style of pipes. You know, there's just something about them that's it fits in the hand. They're made to fit in the hand, and they're made to draw your eye in a certain spot and then pulled somewhere else.
That's
Kirk, you have
very
anything
cool.
else?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay, just want to make sure. I want to make sure I include you and you're not just pressing
Oh,
buttons.
Before we continue,
Ah, Kirk, something to say?
I do have something to say. Let me figure this out.
Well, now.
Well, we have a new a quick submission from, and this is for Nate. This is a submission for Nate. It's a bubble pipe for him since he's not smoking.
He's not allowed to smoke. He's only allowed to smoke a bubble pipe in his cellar because he's too far from the window. So So he
Ping-pong
added a
ball.
picture of Nate smoking a bubble pipe with a baby face.
Doesn't that look like a ping pong ball, which is even more fitting for Nate?
Exactly.
That's fun.
That's fun. Uh, all right, we just did that one. Okay, so
Technically, you would have just slid that in as the next slide.
yeah, I'm gonna figure that out for the next time.
Okay.
Next time we're going to give Nate a hard time. Figure that crap out. Look, I can figure out how to do it in our podcast. You can figure out how to do it in this one. All right, Kirk? Get your crap together.
Go ahead, Nate. Roll that beautiful pipe footage.
Lucky hour.
This is from Nelson's Pipes by Jerry. Hello, all. Here's my take on the May theme. I went with a semi-freehand Dublin with a crepe myrtle accent
Myrtle.
and some Eldridge rod stock for the stems. What's crepe, Jay?
Is like really thin pancakes. Crepe.
That would be crepe.
Crepe myrtle?
Crepe myrtle. It's a type of wood. It's
Yes.
true.
Oh,
But that word is pronounced crepe. Crepe.
Or for Jewish people, blintzes.
Or for Americans, really thin pancakes.
Exactly.
all right.
But we're going to complain about what I type.
I love crepes. I love
Yeah,
crepes.
Go ahead, you little creme fraiche. Keep reading.
that's it.
I won't say it. I won't say it.
I think the sandblast on this is really, I really like. I think he did a good job. I've been a huge fan lately of the freehand Dublin shape when they leave the little plateau on top and then they sandblast it. Um, and this is what I feel like both of his stems flow incredibly well. I love I feel like the bend on the church warden is the perfect amount for the way the bowl is shaped and the way the stummel is bent. Um, I really like this pipe a lot. I love it.
I'm a huge fan of Jerry's work. I mean, I have pipes from when he made his first pipe. He's just a great guy. And exactly right. When it comes to the Dublins, when it comes to a plateau rim, I mean, like the one I have from Jason Mouton, the plateau rim and that ring blast, absolutely phenomenal. And the natural finish
Yeah.
is just killer.
Yeah.
The fact that he used the insert the way he did in a lighter and then a blast of color from that Eldritch stem is just unbelievable. This is such an eye-catching pipe. This is a beautiful piece. And it would, if you put any other stem on this, you put a black stem, a blue stem, a Cumberland stem, it would look great. But that stem itself really makes it stand out. And he was not comfortable doing a church warden. He wasn't going to do this challenge. I think he did it reluctantly, but he did it, and I'm glad he did. The whole idea of this club is to have artisans do things that they wouldn't normally do or wouldn't think of doing. And this is exactly what comes from that. Even if just one is made that they wouldn't normally make, and then they found something that they enjoy and can add that into their, catalog of work. That's what makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I when I saw this pipe, I was smitten instantly. Much like you guys said, I love that the blast is stellar. And the way it ties into the very crisp plateau on top. That's the only way I know that's the word that comes to mind when I'm describing the plateau is crisp. A lot of people you see do plateau on a pipe, it ends up being like very rounded off and kind of dull. And
Built in and smooth like. Right.
yeah, it looks really like just very smooth and kind of just dimpled.
Yeah.
This is so pointy and crisp, and it's clean looking. In spite of its jaggedness, it's very crisp and clean, and I love it. I love this pipe wouldn't be the same without that um, accent ring. I think that it really ties the whole pipe together. I mean, I think it'd be a fine looking pipe, just stem going straight into that sandblasted stummel, but that accent piece just is like it's the eye catcher.
Oh, absolutely.
Is the piece
You
that
know,
ties the two together.
the crepe myrtle, boxwood, um, Missouri birch would have worked. You know what I mean? Anything in that lighter tone
Yeah.
to break up the two, the stem and the briar. But he really did a phenomenal job on this.
I'm not a huge church warden fan, so um, I for me, if this pipe was in my collection, the church warden stem is wonderful. It's nice. It's beautiful. It probably wouldn't stay on the pipe. I would probably keep the small pipe, the small stem on it. That's how I would smoke it because I love it with the small stem on it. I think
When it comes to
I
church
think you
wardens,
did
I
great on the
understand what you're
church
saying.
warden.
Yeah. I mean, church wardens are not for, look, they're not the kind of pipe that do yard work with. You know what I mean? For me, a church warden is a reading pipe. And that's exactly what it is. If this was 10, 11 o'clock at night and I was reading downstairs, I would have it in my, and it'd be resting on my chest, but I could because of the stem. That's
Yeah.
how I use them.
That's fair. I really love the short stem he did on it. I think that the shaping, especially like you can see the shaping, you see the profile in the right side pictures, but in the two pictures on the left, you could really see the shaping of the short stem, and it's an incredible looking stem.
Oh, he did it. And I don't know if you have any pieces with electric stems in it. They're a happy middle area of ebonite and acrylic.
Mhm.
It has the strength of acrylic, but the softness on your teeth of the ebonite.
I personally feel the opposite of Justin. I love the way it looks with that church warden stem. I don't think if I had this pipe, I'm not sure I would ever use the little stem. And one thing I really like about the stems is how where it goes into the stummel is different. Like on the short one, it's got like a little button before it goes out. And then on the church warden, it just flows like straight in.
Yes.
I love that little detail that he did on the different stems, but the way that church warden flows, I love it. I just think it's so good looking.
And that's exactly what it is. This pipe, appeals to Justin in one way with one stem and you another way with the other stem. And
Yeah.
that's the whole point of this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you guys could split it and share it and swap houses on weekends.
You
And never have to
Joint
put your
custody?
mouth on the other one's stem.
you get the church warden stem, I get the short stem, and we'll share custody.
See?
As long as we can agree on what tobacco we're going to smoke out of it,
Oh,
I'd be okay with that.
well, since you both are good with Captain Black Grape, I say just load it up and go to town.
I couldn't smoke Captain Black Grape out of a red stem.
Yeah.
Wow, you're right. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
it's more of a bacon old fashioned, I think.
No,
Exactly.
shut up, Kirk.
I have a jar of that here. I do have to still try that.
Oh my gosh, good luck.
I'm going to
Number
try
here.
it. Sure.
Have you loaded up right now? Do it on air.
No,
Yeah, no.
we don't want to see
anything,
Jay.
anything, Kirk? Anything on this pipe?
So when I first saw it, I immediately thought of Kevin Foster a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like
Mhm.
the blast reminded me of Kevin a lot. But the short stem, I feel like I'd want it to have a little bit more of a curve, I think. But that's just me.
A more of a bend coming at you.
But yeah,
Okay, I could. So it hangs more.
yeah. I feel like it because I mean, I'd probably smoke it when I'm driving mostly, So it'd be a weird pipe to smoke while driving. I think if with the short stem.
Okay.
Jerry's
Next.
gonna sell you a pipe, Kirk.
Next, we have Austin from Pathfinder Pipes. He says Briar stumble with oxhorn accent ring. Stem material is acrylic. It's 7 inches long with a semi-church warden stem and about 3.75 inches with a saddle stem. Thank you for using Freedom units. It's sandblasted with a tan stain. I was originally planning on doing this challenge. I wasn't originally planning on doing this challenge, but then I stumbled across an extra blank of the same color. So I like this pipe. I really like the stem color on this pipe. It's it reminds me of like an icicle or something. Um, it's
Reminds you
just
of a frosty icicle hanging from a cave.
yeah, yeah. I dig it. It's a pop. It's a pop of color.
You know, his shape of the briar works with the stem on either one.
Yeah,
You know, it's angled just right. You know, there's a cant to it, which works. You see how the bottom left picture it sits flat.
right.
So the bowl sits flat and the stem sits flat, and there's that horizon line that you don't notice unless it's sitting like that. You can see it a little bit in the top picture above it, but unless it's down, you wouldn't see it. I would have hoped he had done that with the shortest stem just to show as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great piece. Yeah, the color works. That light tan, brown, redishness to it
Mm-hmm.
with that blue stem, it works. You know, it's khaki and denim, or more of a
Right.
summer vibe.
Khaki and denim. I was getting real spring vibes out of this. Um, I think the color combination goes really well. That um, like raw leather look.
Mhm.
Like even his sandblast kind of has that like raw leather vibe to it. I really dig that. I love um, the choice of the coloring on the accent ring. Probably a little thicker of an accent ring than I would personally go after. I don't think it does the pipe injustice by any means. Just from my perspective, I would like the accent ring a little smaller, but I do like the choice of accent ring. I think it really ties the stummel and the um, stem together. Again, this is another one of those pipes where the accent ring really ties it together, whereas I think not having that and it just goes straight into stem into shank, this pipe wouldn't have the same look. Completely changes the finished product of the pipe.
Well, that insert ring is your horizon line. It separates the two, but at the same time brings it together aesthetically.
Mm.
Kirk, you can speak now.
What did you say the accent ring is?
Oxhorn.
Oxford. Okay. It's the bottom left. It has
Looks
like a kind of a shine to it, like some kind of a metal on that one. But up here it looks like horn. But um, yeah, really not much else that you didn't already say. Is that
okay
I-
then. Terrific, Kirk. Thanks.
that blue also has some green in that? Is that
Yeah.
you can see it in the longer one? Not so much the
This was creek water. It's coming off of a waterfall in a creek, and that's actually a leech that froze in the icicle that Nate was talking about.
It's a mosquito that has dinosaur blood. It's still inside.
Ooh, this is the Jurassic Park pipe.
Yes.
If it was amber, I might believe you.
What's she got to do with this?
Kirk, we're gonna work on, your critiquing later. Just the two of us will practice.
He just needed the mustache, man. It's all he needed to bring to the table.
Well, if I'm
This
the last
is-
one talking, you guys already said everything I was gonna probably say.
Oh, see, we ruined it for him. Took away his surprise. Go ahead, Nate.
This is from EP Pipes. He says olive wood stained silver gray, faux ivory accent, telescoping stem, and blue cast resin from Craig Herzog. EP's always up to something. And this pipe is no
Or-
exception.
Yeah.
I've never seen a telescoping stem before.
Yeah, never even thought of that.
So this is very interesting.
At the end of presenting the challenge to them for May when I had said 2 stems, growth, and everything else, the tag was growth, and I had put a caveat in there. I try and throw something in to twist things around a little bit. What if it was 1 stem that was telescoping? And I had a feeling 2 people were going to try. I thought 3 were going to try it. 2 of the 3 did. Him being one of them. He did it. When he started drawing it out, I said, "There's no way," and he made it work. So the idea being, you can carry the pipe with you, and have both stems without actually carrying 2 stems.
It's wild. I would be interested to know how well it sits at the extended. You know what I mean? Like if I was trying to clinch it. But like all olive wood, the grain really pops on the stumble there. That's one thing I love about olive wood is the grain is always just so prominent.
Oh, definitely. Look, the fact that he made it a bit narrower, I thought was pretty unique and smart, because in order to have the telescoping stem, the bottom of the stem closer to the briar is very wide for what a stem would be. Yeah, because one has to go inside the other.
Mhm.
So making the briar narrower and enhancing the appearance of the stem itself is different, and aesthetically it works on this. Uh, look, it's a unique pipe, plain and simple. It's not something that I don't think anybody has ever made before, except for the next guy. Uh, so the fact that it was done, I think is absolutely incredible. And olive wood, this is an aromatic smoker for me, because olive woods and aromatics just go together like peanut butter and jelly, with the peanut butters on both sides of the bread and the jellies in the middle.
Absolutely.
Right. There goes Kirk. Now he's speaking up.
Where's the
I
leave?
just got to give him something he wants.
How do I find the leave button on here? Uh, the first thing that stood out to me with this is that this is exactly what I expected Richard to do. And I don't mean that as in like he falls into this groove. Richard is probably the most apt to innovate person in the club. He is the most apt to challenge the norm and do something outside of um what the rest of the group might do. And yeah, this is exactly what I expected from him. I expected something wild and zany. And like, look, innovation doesn't, I'm not saying that about this pipe, but innovation doesn't always nail. It's not always like, it doesn't always work, right? Some things have been tried before and they failed, and there's a reason that they're dead. And sometimes people bring them back out of a sort of innovation, and everybody's like, hey, that we tried that before and it didn't work. But EP Richard is never afraid to try to do something wild, crazy, and different. And this is this is a great example of that.
I wonder how much 10 high he had to make this.
I appreciate that about him, and I really admire that about him, that he is not content to just make a quick bowl and a quick stem, slap them together. Like,
No.
this is like a whole engineering process for him.
Yeah. Like I said, they brought the Yugo, it didn't work, so they brought a smart car instead. And this is the smart car.
I don't get that reference, but hey, I'll roll with it.
Don't tell me you don't know what a Yugo is.
I do know what a Yugo is.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, the smart car. I know what the smart car is now. No, I forgot that was a thing for a little while. Are they still made?
Smart cars, I still see them.
Yeah, I think so.
Not very smart, but
They were
yes.
really popular for a while, and they're just not. I don't see them much anymore. But anyway, back to the pipes. The stummel for this reminds me of a old wooden golf club.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know what that is about that, but I don't know. It just reminds me because when I grew up and learned to play on wooden clubs. And so every once in a while I see a maker make something and it just have like this moment of flashback, like, oh, everybody else playing with metal drivers.
You
and
still
I'm
have
using
the
wood.
idea in your head of having a pipe made out of an old hickory club, right?
Yeah, cool. Thanks for telling the whole world, Jay.
Well, we should have made that happen already. It's only been 2 years.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Kirk, tell us what you think about this.
So I want to know how, if the telescope part comes all the way out, or if he has something in there to kind of stop it.
I wonder if it's tapered, so it
Yeah.
you know it can't come all the way out.
Well,
Or
that
like
I also
flare,
want to know
a
that
flare
like
at the other end.
when you have it compacted in, where's the friction to keep it like while you're clenching it? Where's the friction to keep the bowl from just rolling over and turning upside down?
He did have a video, and I think I think when it's inserted, you could turn it and because he had it all in and then he held it up.
Okay.
The video is just 3 minutes long. I posted it on the story, but
Yeah.
here would be
And
too long.
I don't doubt that at all because knowing Richard personally, I know that he would not be okay with like he wouldn't put this out as like the solution or the his idea for this challenge if it was a failure in that aspect. So
No.
All right. Next, our good pal Kevin Foster.
Yeah. So this is
pal.
Kevin from Foster Handmade Pipes. All done. Lightly blasted mortar, grass green, brindled ebonite, mammoth ivory inlay. It's pretty good.
You know, his this goes back to what we were talking about with the double and shape. Now, it doesn't have the ring blast of the plateau, but the mortar, the rings of the mortar, the variation in color that a mortar has really lends itself well to that ivory insert. The fact and putting a black and green Cumberland stem on it is a darker stem really makes it work. He just makes beautiful pipes.
Mhm.
They're elegant.
Yeah. Yeah, your elegance, the perfect word.
Yeah.
I this is one of the few we've seen where the stems are almost identical.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. I think either one of those stems looks fantastic in that pipe. I kind of like the longer stem still, but yeah, he did. It's obviously he did a fantastic job. Kevin's great.
With the angle of the pictures, you almost couldn't tell that they were two different stems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
The
but
one that
it
looks different is the
orange.
top right. That's the one that looks different. All the other ones look the same, except, and then if you look closer to the
Yeah.
bottom left, you can tell.
He just does beautiful work. I mean, look what he did in that bulldog that he just sent me.
I didn't see the bulldog.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Shut up, Jay.
Wow. You're just gonna toss Kevin aside like that. I'm gonna let him know.
Well, I tried showing my Kevin pipe last time, and you told me to shut up.
I'm gonna make sure the next time you're on a flight, he puts you next to that seat at the door.
On the Boeings. Ugh,
Yes.
place to be on a Boeing. What I was going to say about this, the thing that really stuck out to me was on the right hand side of the pipe, the rings on the right hand side.
Mhm.
I just love the placement of those.
Mm.
I think a lot of pipe makers would have just gone into this and just started sanding away And knowing Kevin and seeing his pipes and just knowing him personally and spending time with him, he has such an eye for detail, and is very meticulous in planning and seeing things well beyond. I mean, Kevin's not been making pipes very long. Like, he has an advanced eye for his experience in pipe making, and to notice just that little detail. I have no doubt that Kevin um, saw these certain features and planned around those features, and like, where am I going to put this feature? Where is this feature going to be? How do I want to build around that? And I love that. I think that the colors go incredibly well together. That like charcoal and light gray color of the Morta, um, especially kind of has like this swirly, bendy look to it. I think it goes really well with that, um, with the Cumberland stem, and it almost makes the Cumberland stem look like an extension of the pipe, almost as if it's obviously it's not a Morta, it is a green and black Cumberland stem, but very, very balanced. The I want to say texture, but it's not texture. But that textured look is just very balanced, in my opinion.
Kirk, anything? We got 3 more to go.
Yep, not really. I mean, it's a gorgeous pipe. This is something I'd probably would snag at a pipe show if I saw it.
You didn't have to wait till the pipe show. You could have reached out to him beforehand. That's the whole idea. We get an advantage here, boys.
So this is Rich over at Smith House Pipes. Rich gave us no information, but you can see clearly there's a long stem and a shorter stem.
Well, we're very well put.
It looks it looks very similar to the previous one, what looks like a green and black kind of Cumberland stem there.
Yeah, his has more green to it. Rich likes making his wheelhouse are smaller pipes.
Mhm.
His pipes are that 30, 45-minute smoking pipe. He makes a very delicate, elegant pipe. And this one, the canted Rhodesian type that he did with the 2 stems, really works well. The short stem makes it a perfect clencher. And even the long stem, it's that semi church warden area range. It's not church warden, it's just not short, but it's also not so long as a semi church warden that you couldn't control it as a clenching piece once, to turn your head with. Because I know for a fact his pipes are also extremely light. So I'm pretty sure this balances really well.
Mm.
Looks like a boxwood insert, sandblasted bottom, smooth top, some flame grain going on, which ties in real well with the contrast finish on the bottom. He Rich does nice, clean work.
He has a type too. Whenever I see one of his pipes, I know it's one of his pipes.
I
It
was
says
Just
it's that
about to say that, yeah.
unspoken signature of a pipe, which I love.
I have 2 of his pipes, and both are, you can tell them from across the room. If you're at a pipe show and you're even remotely familiar with Rich's stuff, you see when you're like, oh, there's one of Rich's pipes.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know. I think again, this captures the Rich vibe, even with the semi church warden, which he doesn't do very often.
Never.
Uh,
This is again like Jerry out of his wheelhouse, and he nailed it.
yeah, it's a good. I'm not a long stem pipe person, but that's a good look. I'd be tempted to buy that, like that semi church warden. Would
Oh,
prefer it with the smaller stem, but
here we go again. See, 2
What?
pipes you guys could share.
here we go,
It's
Nate.
true.
We'll just swap weeks. You have this one on one week. I get the other one, and we'll just swap back and forth.
Okay.
I'm down. I think it's a good idea.
Peanut butter jelly time. Kirk,
Yeah, I mean, I like the contrast between the smooth and the blast, and I think that's very pretty stem that he used, the material.
Very well put.
Thank you.
It's a pretty stem. Now our overachiever, not 2 stems, but 3.
Which one of the 14 pipes was this one?
Oh, when I put out a challenge, he's either done that afternoon or the next day he's gone way overboard. And you gotta love him for it. And he's just such a happy guy.
I don't know how he affords all the briar and olive wood. Holy smokes.
Oh, well, he's a professor in engineering and everything else. He's like
Oh.
a neurosurgeon.
Well, I guess he lives really close to the source too, so he probably gets it a little more affordably than we do here.
Yes. But the grain and the olive wood, again, this is by ZZ
Okay.
Pipette. But the grain and the olive wood, again, just absolutely stunning. You know, he cut this block where the briar, where the olive wood, where the grain goes up and down in such a way that it just lines up with this Umpol style of pipe.
Mhm.
And
You th-
3 stems, one
you think-
extremely short, one medium, and one semi churchwarden like. But even still, not that long enough to still be very comfortable to smoke, while holding it.
Do you think he uses like a reverse tenon?
This one, I don't think he did, although you'd think so because of the size of that uh, part of the stem at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I don't think he did. I think it's also drilled out more, and then that sits inside. So it's
Oh, okay.
almost like reverse calabash kind of thing. Doing the drilling on this, he probably has a keyhole drill on the bottom of that, which is why he used the larger stem shape.
Hmm.
When you see the drill, and then you'll see that little notch at the bottom. And so they could do the drill, and then they have to put the drill another way to drill in.
Mhm.
And not for nothing, the pipe socks that he makes for these things, I really find whimsical and fun.
I do too.
I don't own any olive wood pipes. Um, but I feel like every month I feel
But you
like
need one.
ZZ makes one, and like it's kind of become a thing like where he make probably I feel like half the pipes he makes are olive wood.
You have to get an olive wood pipe.
I have to? That's a strong way of putting
Yeah,
it.
I'm telling you, you have to.
I don't have a mortar pipe either.
Only the cool kids have.
The only
olive wood
reason I have a
pipes.
meerschaum pipe is because it was given to me.
I'm telling you, you enjoy aromatics to a point.
Not anymore.
Get an olive wood pipe. The same way I enjoy burleys in a mortar, olive wood really enhances an aromatic for whatever reason. It does for me.
I mean, I feel like I'm missing out on something because
You
everybody I
are.
know has an olive wood pipe except for maybe Nate. Do you have an olive wood pipe, Nate?
No, I don't believe in
Say
that.
yes. Say yes.
I don't believe in that. But
You,
going
you weren't
back-
so sure about the burleys in the mortar either, were you?
No, you're right. But I would also like a olive wood pipe. I do enjoy aromatics. Now, ever since you said that, now that's all I can think about.
Sitting back on a hot summer night with some autumn evening, something cool and refreshing and sweet.
Is
That's
that
diabetes.
that kind of looks like camouflage to me, the accent right there.
I couldn't tell what he used as the accent ring. At first I thought maybe it was some kind of fossilized something, and then some kind of exotic wood. I just have no idea,
Mm.
but it's a pretty piece.
It looks good. Yeah.
I wish he had put the shortest stem on it. I would have liked to see how the color worked with it because it's not black like the others.
If you scroll up to the previous picture, you can
Well-
see I was confused.
On Discord.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no.
Oh,
gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't realize you only gave him one. Never mind then. I like it. It's a good looking pipe.
Well, thank you, Nate.
It just
I
dawned on
appreciate
me.
that.
Has anybody else noticed that ZZ is kind of like the Italian version of EP pipes.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Italian EP pipes. It's kind of mind blowing to me now. He always does something like a little different, a little crazy sometimes.
And in
And then multiples, yeah. I wonder if he drinks what
Ten High,
they don't drink bourbon in Italy. What do they what kind of spirit do they drink in Italy most?
Wine.
He probably drinks a bunch of wine.
Wine is not a spirit.
No, but it's
and when
alcohol.
when he's feeling giddy, he's probably hopped up on limoncello.
Limoncello.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's probably goes home and drinks a bottle of limoncello every night.
That's some sweet
And
stuff.
goes out to the garage and makes pipes. And cranks up the ZZ Top because
There you go.
he's a huge ZZ Top fan.
Copper Beard Pipe
All right.
Works.
Wow. I didn't really.
Yeah.
You just sent these to me today, so I didn't get to look at them. But this is kind of wild.
What kind of prep work did you do?
Yeah,
You-
seriously.
You just sent them to me. You
You're
just
on the
sent them.
Discord.
I'm not on the Discord.
Why not?
I don't know. I never got an invite.
Oh, sorry about that. It's on a need to know basis. I'll send you the link. But
So-
he go ahead, read it
I
up.
was just gonna say he just put that he needs to polish the bowl. Still, the oil is setting. So the pictures that we have here, this has not been polished, so it is kind of a matted look. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, he did this based on Weber,
Like radiator pipes.
right? A radiator pipe, right?
Wheat radiator, yeah.
So this has interchangeable bowls. It has two bowls, and it actually extends like an antenna
I
all the
love
way
that.
up. And he also included a telescoping cleaner for it to go through. The stem portion, as you extend it, you can twist it and lock it in place, and you can go to whatever length you want, and it'll stay. The design, I saw this piece and I fell in love with it. For the simple fact, it reminds me of a pipe that, when I see a pipe, it has to, I have to see myself using it somehow in some way, or it has to give me a feeling of somewhere in some place. This would be a pipe that I could put in a backpack and go camping or hiking and have a church warden or a short with two bowls. The cleaner's right there. It's like a compact Swiss Army of pipe.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you could store the cleaner in the pipe.
I wonder.
Because it's like he used an antenna to make both pieces.
One small and the other. If you took the mouthpiece off itself, and would it go in? Because it does telescope down as well.
I'll bet that was an antenna before, and both the shank of the pipe and the telescoping of the cleaner were all one antenna at one point.
And that was the top portion.
That was the top portion. So I'll
Yeah.
bet that there is a way that could be fed back in for portability.
If that's the case, then I bet if that at the front of the pipe, like the Cavalier type nip at the end, if that comes off, you might be able to slide that through.
Mm. Well, we just gave him, if he didn't think of that already, we just gave him a concept.
Right? And it would stick out enough over that cap where you could pull it back out to smoke. It's an interesting piece. And the two interchangeable bowls that it comes with are also in their own case. And it actually screws into the bottom of the holder for the bowl. And then it has a cover that goes on in silicone, I think. It's not here yet, so I couldn't tell you, but it will be here.
Did you buy it?
I got that from him.
Nice.
I just saw that as a pipe for, like I said, I could throw that in my fishing vest, or my backpack, and just always have a pipe on me while I'm, out in the woods or whatever.
You know what it makes me think of?
What, going in the woods and fishing?
No, like 1960s, like 007 spy when he would take his shoe off and pull the antenna out on his shoe. Like
You're
it just
talking about
reminds,
Get Smart.
yeah, but I mean it's like retro futuristic kind of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's I really dig it. I think it's super duper cool.
You didn't have a shoe phone when you were a kid?
I did not. No. I
I
had a cell
remember
phone when I was a
I
kid.
remember my first cell phone was a Panasonic EB something. It was a very thin box. And remember the old car phones where you pick it up and then it lit up with all the numbers
Uh-huh.
that mounted on there and had a handle and one of those rubber antennas. And I would carry it around like I go into the movie theater.
With the little
W-
carrying box.
Well, it didn't have the box. It was all one unit. This was after the
Oh,
bag
okay.
phones. The
Okay.
bag phones were the original. And
You were
then
about 35 when that came out, right?
actually I got that when I was 16.
Get
And
that
then,
mom money, man.
ring in the movie theater and excuse me, Charles Schwab is calling. No? But so these were all very unique pieces because of the challenge itself. And like I said, that's the whole idea of this, to get people to, including Nate in this picture, to come out of their box and try something different. Um, the challenge for June was pocket pipes, vest pipes. You don't see them anymore. There was there was a style for them. It was a very narrow half circle kind of pipe, and then the stem would turn in and out. And it was just a way that a gentleman, would be able to have a pipe loaded with tobacco and keep in his vest, and it wouldn't be obtrusive in any way. So we have all of these innovations where we've come away from those. And so I wanted to bring that back a little bit because the end of the June challenge will end in basically the end of June, which we'll be presenting in July. We're in summer. So if you're wearing shorts or a bathing suit or something, cargos, you don't want to carry a lot. A t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops. So this way you can carry a small pipe in your pocket, not have to worry. So that was the idea of the June challenge. And from what we can see, except for Kirk, in the progress picks, they're coming along pretty neat, especially Johan from Freehand Pipes. He has gone in a very innovative way where it was one concept I had touched on it, and the next thing you know, he's he ran with it, and it'll be quite extraordinary when everybody sees it as a vest pipe.
I don't usually
So,
wear a vest with my bathing suit.
well, you would call that a floaty, right?
Unicorns on it.
Of course, with unicorn. Is there any other way?
No.
So I think everybody did a killer job on the May pipes. And I do believe some of these are still available. So if anybody does see them, I would reach out to the artisans that made them. And if they're not available, they can make you one. It's really as simple as that. That's the whole idea of a commission. See something you like and then ask that artisan to make you one. Maybe in your own colors, or instead of like Kevin Foster, instead of mortar, you want it in briar and you want a Cumberland stem. But it's the idea that it can be done. Mr. Wizard, anything?
No.
Hobbit. The Hobbit.
Well, listen, he's pressing the buttons. Let's give him wizard status, at least.
No, I think that's it.
You shall not pass.
What's that from?
My little, my little wizard.
See, he's a wizard. I'll admit, I never saw Lord of the Rings. I never read the book. I have them. I think I have three different copies of it, and I think I have them all on DVR somewhere from when they were on, but I haven't watched them. I'm waiting for that one day where I have like 12 hours of free time to sit and watch them.
What's a DVR?
A hopper.
All right. Like I said, it's tough to get four of us together to do this. So there is no schedule. It's a matter of getting it to fit into our schedules. So
Mainly Jay's. We're all good except for Jay cancels at the last minute.
exactly. So it's there's no first Tuesday of the month or anything like that. It's we'll make it work. We'll try and streamline it a little bit more next time. I think we've got it down, but a little bit more. We'll get there. I think we're good. We're much better than we did the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
And they say the third time's the charm. So we'll see what happens then.
I think we should do like a quartet jingle to end this.
The quartet. Well, all right. Let's all. I'll tell you what. You start.
So long.
And that's the show. Oh, Danny boy. No, I'm kidding.
The pipes, they're calling.
All right, guys. It was fun. It's always fun.
Absolutely.
And I'll see you in Indiana next week.
What?
What?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you would say.
But you'll be at Columbus.
We'll talk about that.
We're manifesting it. You're gonna be.
I know a manifest destining it and everything else, and I've got it penciled in, and I'll
Roger's
be
gonna be
sharing
there.
a room with Nate this time, so I can make fun of him with his pap machine or pap smear, whatever he's got, and
Yep, that's exactly what it is, Jay.
and I will
It's
I
gonna get
will
really uncomfortable for
Yeah,
Jay in that
just
room.
bring some
I will
jelly.
I will 100% take all the pictures possible of him with this shit sleeping. All right. And I will make sure it goes absolutely viral in some way. I
That's
will be
wonderful.
putting like mouse ears on his head while he's wearing it, alien antennas, you name it.
So you're gonna put pictures of Nate getting a pap smear on Instagram and all that stuff.
Not on Instagram. That would be rude. We'll
Yeah.
just go with the OnlyFans.
Yes.
Make them pay for it, Jay.
Exactly. Your feet will be included. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's not free. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The only thing with Nate that's not free.
That's true.
All right. I will talk to you guys later.
All right,
Say hi to
boys.
the fams. All right.
Thanks for
It was fun.
watching.